Everyone, going to do another video today, a bit more work on the Territory. So what I'm planning to do today is replace a rear wheel hub. I believe that probably the bearing's on the way out, so I'll take you through the process. Never done one before, but we'll learn together, eh? So this is the rear wheel hub. I picked this up from Pick Apart Auto Salvage in Campbellfield, and I had a go at two other Territories to try and get the hub off, but the nut was rusted on, and I thought I'll just go check out this other Territory because it looks like it's a new one they've just bought in, and this thing had basically a brand new hub on it. It had been replaced. So there's the bearing there. I would have liked to have pulled the bearing race as well, but I didn't have an internal puller, so I'm hoping that my race is still okay. And if it's not, it may just be cheaper to order a new bearing and throw a new bearing in there, because that'll come with cup and cone. So yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. Okay guys, one thing I've found so far is try and, whilst the wheel's still on the ground, I've got it partially jacked up and I've loosened the wheel nuts off, but what I'm going to try and do is, whilst the wheel is still supplying some grip, I'm going to pop the centre cap out of the wheel, and I'm going to use a pick tool to pry the cap off. And I'm actually going to crack the nut now rather than do it once the wheel's off, because even though you put your transmission into park and the handbrake's on, because you're applying so much pressure and so much force to it, you actually, the tranny can slip sometimes. And if you have a air-driven impact gun, use that. I've got one, but I can't be bothered pulling out all the compressor and hose and everything to get to it, so I'm just going to break the nut whilst the wheel's still on the ground. Okay, to get that nut loose, you're going to need a 36mm socket. I bought this one off eBay, and I think I paid $14 delivered. So yeah, you're going to need one of these. So these nuts are a one-time use only. You can get them from Ford dealers. They're about $38 a nut, but I'm going to put this back on with some Loctite. I don't see there'd be any reason why Loctite wouldn't do the job. Another thing that you're going to need too is you're going to need to back your handbrake off. So you'll need a pair of, I do apologise for the footage today because I'm doing it on my phone. That little black plug there, that's for your handbrake adjustment. So you'll need a pair of pliers, long nose pliers, to pull that out, and you'll need a brake adjuster tool to back your brake pads off. You'll need to remove the caliper as well. Now guys, make sure you put a wheel chock under the front wheels, because you're going to have to put the car into neutral and take the handbrake off to loosen off your brake shoes. Okay guys, I'm using a 15mm deep socket to get the two bolts out of the back of the caliper. Okay guys, once you've got the two bolts out for the caliper, you should just be able to sit it on that lower trailing arm. Just be careful you don't push your brake pads out of the caliper, because there's not a lot holding them in, and they're a bugger to get back in. Okay, I've got the nut off now. So the next thing I'm going to do is rotate this disc rotor and line it up with the brake shoe adjuster and back the brake shoes off. As you might remember from last time when I did these brakes a few weeks back, that I ended up putting a C there for clockwise. So to tension your handbrake, you need to rotate the little wheel inside clockwise. To undo it, anti-clockwise, but then that will change on the opposite side. Guys, handbrake pads have now been backed off. So what we want to do now is we want to get our 3-jaw puller, and we're going to put the jaws in behind the hub, and we're going to slowly pull it out. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to spray it with a bit of RP7 WD-40. I don't know if it'll make any difference, but it can't hurt. One thing I found at the wrecking yard when I pulled the hub off is that once you've got your puller in place, you can wind the spindle, and it actually pushes the like that threaded axle into the hub, but it won't release it straight away. You've got to basically get that thing almost in flush with the inside recess of the hub before it'll let go. So yeah, don't think you're doing nothing wrong, because this is the second time that this has done this to me. As you can see, I can still tighten it with my hand, and this is still moving in. But we're at that point now where it's tight enough that with a couple of turns of the ratchet, it should actually break itself free. As you can probably see, I've nearly got all the thread in level with the hub, and it still hasn't let go yet, so it can't be that far away. Guys, in the end, it let go, but I had to give it one tap with the hammer because it was just getting too tight that I was worried I was going to start stripping the thread off my bearing puller. But yeah, one tap with the lump hammer, just bang like that, and the whole thing just let go. So there we go. The bearing's out. What I found was I tried to pull it with the pick tool, but it didn't want to come out. So what I did is I actually got onto the front edge and I pushed it in, and it actually it rotated out on a 45-degree angle, and then the whole thing just popped out. I'm going to give this a bit of a degrease. So I got my old Super Cheap Auto degreaser there. Just going to give it a bit of a rinse out before I install the new hub. I've got my grease there as well, so I'm going to really pack it well. As you can probably see, there's a lot of rust coming out, so definitely worth degreasing it. So did the bearing, and I've just set the seal in the front, so I'm going to gently tap it in. I'm just going to work my way around and try not bend it too much. It's very flimsy, this seal, so it won't take much to bend it. Okay, as you can see, I've completely packed it full of grease, and I'm going to slide the hub back on now. Packed around the bearing with heaps and heaps of grease, and I've just slid the hub over I guess it's the drive axle. You have to wiggle it a little bit to get the splines to interlock, but that's as far as I can get it without putting the nut on it to draw it in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go clean up the nut because it's got a bit of rust on it, and I'm going to come back and install it. Okay, I'm going to draw the hub in, obviously with the nut, but I'm not going to put the Loctite on it yet. I'm going to draw the hub all the way in, then undo the nut, and then put my Loctite on it. Okay, I've just done that up sort of just firm. I haven't over tightened it or anything. So now I'm going to start to draw that nut in and make sure that that hub is all the way home, and then once I've done that, I'll take the nut off and I'll put some Loctite on it. Okay guys, what I'm doing is I'm just putting the tape measure in there till it hits the nut, and I got a reading of, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but it's 25 mil. So then I'll go around the other side, and again, put that up against the nut, measure out to the edge of the thread, and got 25. So I know that hub's all the way home now. If you're not getting the same measurement on both sides, it's obviously hasn't seated itself properly on the spline or something. So don't force it, because if you break it, you'll have to get another one. Okay, don't forget to put the shifter back into neutral, because you'll need to rotate the hub now to line up with your handbrake adjuster. This is the hub we took off. You can see all the grease is all solidified, I think the right word is. It's all gone hard. There's rust in there. So yeah, all back together. So let's hope that this was the cause and it's not the inner double row bearing, because I don't have the tools to pull that out. Let's hope it was just this one. So everything's back together. I want to thank you guys again for watching. Hopefully you can get something out of it, even if it's only the socket size. Better than nothing, eh?